has nothing else than beach in the mind.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we're live.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I see a Cecil and Madame live on YouTube. Oh my gosh.
I don't feel alive. Bob.
I can say a couple of times egg salad, if that helps.
It doesn't hurt. Babaloo.
It says
He's trying
chat
to let me know he's
disabled.
down there.
Is your chat disabled, Emery?
No, my chat is fine. Erin just joined and I typed my first words.
Oh no, have I just been banned or something? That would be typical.
You're banned? Maybe just reload. Sometimes in the beginning, it sometimes YouTube messes things. There you are.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I've not been banned.
Yep.
That's good.
Bob. Babaloo, I know you're there. You don't have to keep telling me. He reaches up and pinches my skin to let me know he's there. Bob.
So Erin is here, Michelle Thompson is here, and Lisa Banerjee is here. Hello and welcome, guys. Good to see you. Oh, wow, already so many chatters.
Hello. Cecil and is having to play with two toys. He broke that to make two toys out of it. Bob! Because I'm just reinforcing him by saying something loud at him. Just don't do that. It's irritating. You big boy. You big boy. You start kicking now, Bob? We got Cecil in here. I could not get KK to come in. He was happy to be out playing in his cage, but he wouldn't come in here. And neither would Mander. I don't give Lucy the choice because she always likes it when she gets in here. The other two, not so much. They don't want to be forced in here, but okay, I'm sure they'll be out later, but they just won't come out right now. Sugar. Good Pep. Peppa. He was having a little argument with Jasmine earlier. Didn't sound like a little argument. She was screaming her head off.
So Falconsuit joined us in chat, and Dirty Birds Inc. joined us, and he's telling that his, I think it's a cockatoo, Ace, escaped his cage again. And he got stuck a little bit. So it sounds like he's escaping artist, like our Babaloo, Babaloo, Babaloo. Oh, there he's writing. He bit the bars of his cage off. That sounds like Babaloo Doodle.
Yeah, that's what Bob was doing at the temporary location. He's tearing the cage apart because he wanted out of it. Doesn't mess with his cage. No, it's a big cage, but when he was stuck in the 32-inch cage, that was just horrible. Wasn't it, Bob?
What is that kind of cage for such cases? Because Dirty Birds Inc. says that Ace needs a new cage. And what is the term for what Cecil also got?
Oh, you can't get the cage that Cecil's in. They don't make them anymore. Next best is King's cages. Hey.
But I thought there's some technical term for the way they are welded together.
That's bead welded, but nobody does that.
Oh,
everything is tack. It's tack welded now. And if you got a bird that I mean, some of the stainless steel cages are better put together, but you know, you're talking $3,000 to start on a stainless steel. Stop that. I remember when somebody was talking about this one used to have a night cage that was round because it was bead welded. It was the only other bead welded cages I could find. I could find, and somebody was saying, "Well, they shouldn't be in round cages." And I said, "That's great. Just go ahead and buy us a night cage made out of stainless steel and have every single weld in it redone as a bead weld, and that'll be good."
Yeah, usually this person was right, because they shouldn't be in round cages. But the first thing is, it was a night cage, so it was dark, so, and in a corner in the bird room. And the other thing is, it hasn't affected his personality, and he needed some kind of that special type of cage. But yeah, in general, this person was right.
Yeah, there's the rule and the exception to the rule.
Yeah, and he would get out of any other cage. He'd just bust the bars off him. He can get out of one of the king's cages, one of the big cockatoo cages, no problem. He can pop a bar off in less than 20 minutes. I saw him do it. So, unfortunately, he'd already popped one of them off. I was working on a second one. I got to him. I put him in Bob's cage for a short time, and he just busted the bars off of it. He's even busted a couple of bars off the California cage he's in, but I just used my the plastic you heat up, and I put the bars back on with the plastic. But Cecil, what are you doing? Thank you, Bob.
Lovely boy.
Having fun?
So busy with playing.
I think Cecil always has fun. He makes his own fun.
Messing with me now? You gonna mess with me?
Cecil is definitely a creative boy.
Hi, baby. What are you doing? How's that sea salt? How's that sea salt? Am I bugging you? Get it switched, and it switches back. Bob. Cecil, what are you doing? He leaned all the way over in front of my face. Bob.
Oh, look at little Bob.
Snowball. You look awful quiet up there, Snowball.
Judging from the chat, Ace is not alone in Barbaloo too. So even Rico needed a more solid cage. And Michelle Thompson is telling us about her Guinea pigs who also do some escape tricks.
Oh my.
That's so sweet.
Someone sneezed, bless you.
Yeah.
Is that Lucy or Pip?
That's Pippa.
Pip.
If I turn that humidifier up to 65, she completely stops sneezing, but it's just too much humidity. Hard to breathe. And in here, the humidity doesn't get up as high as it does out there. Usually, if it's 45% right by her cage, she's okay. Peppa. Peppa. Peppa.
Pip, pip. See?
Joe, bless you.
Yeah, I'll have to call the vet tomorrow. I haven't got any response from him yet, so it's definitely enough time to find out if there's anything. But they would have called me if there was something. So probably all came out negative, and she's still got that sneeze, especially in here where the humidity doesn't get up as high.
Bless
Rain
you.
is chilly. And I don't know if you have seen it already, guys, but Lucy's sitting on Sugar's extension today.
He
was
not
so
quite
free.
sure what to make of it.
Lucy.
Cecil, that's my face. You do that when the camera's not on you. I wonder if you know. He reached over and grabbed my face with his foot. To do that, though, he has to take the toys, put them down on my shoulder, get that foot down so that he can reach with the other foot. It's a deliberate act for sure. Yeah, I woke up this morning, my energy level was really low, so I got things done, but Cecil's got to mess with me to bring some life back into me, don't you, kid? Hmm?
So Spirit Matter joined us in chat. Hello and welcome. Good to see you.
Hello. Cecil, you're going to say hello?
Maybe.
Yeah. Nobody's ever heard you except me.
Hello, Cecil. Hello.
Well, we got 3 sleeping birds and then 1 preening. That's my ear. Cecil, and that. Now you're going to sleep. Are you going to sleep? Cecil, that's my face, you big toad.
Sugar doing some real acrobatic back there. And there's the Bob. Hey, Bob. Good boy. Such a cute video of you. Actually, more videos lately, but the super, super cute Bobaloo. I love that chattering video.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Yeah, he likes to talk to the rain. He's a funny boy.
Obviously, yeah.
Aren't you? Aren't you?
Yeah, it was nice. He was goodbying and helloing the rain, calling for Becca, doing kisses and other kind of stuff.
All adorable things.
Yeah, Bob is actually a really good talker if he wants to. And I think he talks pretty often, but he doesn't, say a lot or being as chatty as KK is. Because KK, you have the feeling he is like making whole monologues, not just a phrase or something like he's really like talking through something. It's just hard to understand sometimes, but I'm pretty sure I figured out he's saying the Bob bird. Babaloo.
Bob bird.
Have you had some impression on the KK bird?
Well, Bob says I'll pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Bob is referring to himself as Bob, and now my YouTube stopped.
Oh no.
Is it only me or?
Mine's okay. Still going.
Okay, so probably just me.
It's that German internet again.
Cecil. Oh, he looks so calm. I turn the camera away from him and he grabs my face.
Oh, well, Dirty Birds needs to go, so bye, Dirty Birds. See you
Bye.
next time.
Hey, Luce. Yeah, she seems to be fine most of the time. She doesn't sneeze on the higher humidity, but Pippa. Pippa. Pippa.
Achoo.
Good
Very
grief.
cute little sneezes.
Pretty bird. Cecil, I gotta move a little bit. I'm gonna get the pretty bird. Come on, pretty bird. Well, come on. Now, don't grab my face. Silly. Come here. All right. I'm gonna get the pretty bird.
Mm.
My pretty bird. My pretty bird. Lucy.
So Spirit Matter says my YouTube buddy from a couple of years ago, Lambo, used to preen my eyebrows.
Hmm.
That's pretty adorable. Is that Lambo like Lamborghini? Because that's a good name for a cockatoo.
Mm. That's sweet.
Once in a while, Sugar preens my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I think she does it just to get my attention, but I'm the only one she preens.
Yeah, sometimes she's so close to actually preen somebody, like Cecil when she's begging for.
I'm trying not to chew on my thumb.
Oh, Miss Pippa is really cute up there. And I forgot, is Snowball out? Oh, there. Hi, Snowbird.
Snowball.
Snowbird. Snowball.
He was such a cute cuddler lately when he came to you in the aviary and actually demanded attention. And then you were like, oh, Snowball, I give you a lot of attention. And all the other birds were like, what? That was actually the situation when Sugar started to preen Dawn's head because she was like, that's not okay.
It's like,
I'm
excuse
sitting
me,
here in
don't
the
pay
mug.
attention to him.
Snowball.
Yeah, today's Spirit Matter, you're right. It's kind of peaceful. Bob is well behaved. All the other birds kind of a little bit sleepy. Shuggy is busy preening. Jazzy is busy preening. No trouble with Mando or KK. Actually, KK isn't producing any trouble. Sometimes he tries to chew up a curtain or something like that, but otherwise, yeah.
Isn't KK?
No, I mean, it draws it back, so. He'll come out later. I know how he is. He'll come out when I bring Lorelei in here. As soon as and being that he is a spooked kind of bird, he gets spooky. I don't force him to come out. I mean, he would if I made him come out. He would, but then he'd be afraid the whole time. So no point in that. Can we mess with the Cecil just a little bit? Mess with the Cecil? Hey boy.
It's
And it's got more wood in for the guys. I mean, the way that KK goes through wood is insane. So we'll see how long 200 pieces of wood last. Yep. Yep.
Achoo. Achoo.
Now, Doc says that it's if anything bothers them, it's the desert dust. It isn't so much the pollen as the dust. But there isn't much of that in the air. The humidifier helps to bring all that down. As you can tell by her picture of Steve Jobs, it's nice and glossy. It isn't covered with dust anymore.
Well, that's good. You can't have Steve covered in dust.
No, no. Especially because it means they're all breathing dust all day. It's just good for them. So I see you back there, Jazz, the Jazz bird. What's up, Jazz? Jazz, man. What you doing? What you doing, Jazz? Jazzy Jazz bird. We had someone donate a washer and dryer to us now, so I don't have to rush out of here to wash clothes anymore. The worst part of that is being gone for so long. I can go out, leave here, go to get water and groceries, and be back in an hour. But if I have to do clothing, then I'm gone for 3 hours, and that's not good for them. So don't have to do that anymore, right, Bob?
We have questions in chat, Don, by Spirit
Cool.
Matter. First one is, how many and what kind of air purifiers do you have? And the second is it safe to ionize the air in a bird room?
No, you can't do any kind of ionizing. It definitely hurts their lungs, so you can't use an ionizer. And all the ones I have what's called a plasma wave, which is positive and negative ions, but I don't use that either. I've heard some people complain that it affected their birds. So it's just basic filtration. I use the Winix 5200s. They have 3 different screens. They have a screen, and then you have the charcoal filter, and behind that you have the HEPA filter. So yeah, that's one of them over there. I think Pippa put the Apple symbol on it, but that's what we've got. And you can see how the dust is on the front. I mean, it's just from a couple of days. If I don't wipe the front of it off, but I have to change the charcoal filter and the screen, the charcoal filter every day. And then about every 2 weeks, I have to blow those filters out and start over again. A charcoal filter is good for about 5 reuses if you have a leaf blower to blow the dust out of it. But that's about it. Once they start to stay gray, they'll pick up a gray color to them, then you got to throw them out. So it's amazing how in one day those things turn, black turns to white. So much dust. And then there's got to be enough humidity in the air or it stays in the air. So if it's in the air, then everybody's breathing it. And they don't do well with their own feather dust either. So, right, Bob? Hi. Watch that beak. Watch that beak. Watch that beak. Yeah. Whew. Hey, Luce. Hey, Bob. These are the best ones I've found over the years. I've tried all kinds of them, but got 5 of those in the house now. So they definitely help, but it doesn't stop the dust. So
well, they produce continuously new ones.
Yep. And the first couple of months, I didn't realize how bad the dust was in the air because I've never been in a place where the humidity was this low. It was low in our temporary location, but
at least you weren't there with birds. I think you yourself
Yeah, when I was a
Good
kid,
with it.
yeah. Yeah, I hung out in the desert when I was a kid, but
Mhm.
here it was sticking to everything. In fact, I had to take the drapes down and wash them because they're just coated with a white powder. So not so bad in here because the birds are only in here for a couple of hours, about 4 hours a day. But the living room drapes they were burgundy, but now they're kind of a white. And the person who donated the washer and dryer said that, now you can take those drapes down, wash them, and hang them back up while they're still wet because that'll keep them from wrinkling, and they'll dry off in like a half an hour anyway in the desert. So
Yeah, if you hang them
Right,
out wet,
Cece?
that will put some moisture back into there.
Yep. I learned something else too. I got my own RO filter, and I was considering using the RO to that one just to make the water for the humidifier. But I looked it up online, and there are some questions. I mean, you cannot let the semi-permeable membrane in there get dry. Once it's dry, it has to be thrown. You have to throw it out. I throw them out every year anyway, but you got to get a brand new one. And then you should do the same with the other filters that don't do well if they dry it out. So I might yet do that, but I'm not sure. I got to get out of here sometime. So going to get the water, it's not expensive. It's 25 cents a gallon. So, and the advantage of that water is that it comes off of there is a part of pump that actually has treated water. So the water's been treated, and then treated water goes through the RO system, and they've taken out some of the really nasty chemicals that can get in there. People still spray things to kill weeds, so I don't know how well even an RO system is going to do with things like strychnine. So that's why the city water and the place I found, which is it's RO, it's reverse osmosis, right, Cecil? No.
So Spirit Matter was asking in chat if tools require extra humidification. So I told him about that in the desert is basically no humidity compared to the rainforest where they come from, where it's close to 100%, and that the vet told that Pippa sneezing might come from it. But how does it look in general? Do birds in general need some humidifier next to them, or is it really only for dry regions?
Well, they need a minimum of around between 45 and 50% humidity. And then if you don't have that, if you're in a lower humidity area but not a desert, then you can spray them 3 or 4 times a day with water because their feathers need the moisture. And then because otherwise when they preen themselves, all the dust that comes off them doesn't go down, it goes in. They're breathing it, so that's not good for them either. Yeah, they need about 45-50% humidity minimum. But so do you, because if you don't do that and your humidity drops too low, then you're going to be breathing dust, and that's not good for your lungs.
Nope.
Yeah,
I think when we live here in Germany, some of the elderly people or people who already have worked as farmers or in the building industry, so most of them, the older men had problems with their lungs from their job because back then they weren't wearing masks to protect themselves, and even if they weren't smoking or anything, just from their job, they had damaged lungs then when they were older.
Yeah, you can go back to the cave people. I mean, they would burn fires inside the caves, and then they would breathe the smoke. So humans have been screwing their lungs up for a long time. It makes cooking for birds difficult too, because if you heat up oil and it gets too hot, the oil gets in the air, and that's not, they can't breathe that. It's not good for them. Any kind of smoke while you're cooking isn't good. So somebody's frying up hamburgers, that's not good for them. So I mean, we've got quite a bit of distance between us and the birds, but you still have to find a way to get that stuff out of the house so they don't breathe it. A lot of things you have to consider when you're working around these guys. What are you doing? What's that look all about?
Babaloo.
He was staring at Lucy, and I pointed the phone at him. He's like, I wasn't doing anything.
Well,
Right,
maybe Lucy was also staring at him because maybe she realized, oh, Cecil isn't training me today. So now she tries her luck with Babaloo.
Yeah, they usually will. He'll preen her, and she'll try to preen him a little bit too. But
yeah, the thing
but
is, she barks at Bob when he's preening. Every time we watch them, she's asking him to preen her again.
Yeah, she's getting better about not getting aggravated when he pulls something that hurts her. But she says ouch, but she doesn't attack like she used to. She's learned that when she does that, she doesn't get preened anymore, I think.
Babaloo has a close look.
Babaloo.
Spirit Matter would like to know how's KK enjoying his new home and companions.
He's doing well. He's doing great. He's almost off the medicine now. He's not plucking anymore. He likes his time with me, but he hasn't made any friends in here yet. He can sit next to Bob or fairly close to Bob and Cecil, but anybody else causes him to start freaking out a little bit. I'm working on getting him where he's more comfortable with the other birds, but he likes it. I mean, today he wouldn't come out of his cage. He was playing, so I got him to sit in front of me. I got him to touch my hand, but he just wouldn't come over. So I don't make him yet. Later on, when he's when he's made a few friends, and then I'll just make him come with me because he'll be happy in here. But he'll be out later. He'll come if he doesn't come right out when I'm taking the birds back here. He'll come out in second round when I bring out Lorelei. I have to bring out Lorelei and take out Snowball because he can't. He will just completely hound Lorelei, and then she doesn't get along with Pippa, so Pippa has to leave. She used to get along with Bob, but Bob's been kind of mean to her lately. In other words, he's been territorial. He doesn't really realize that it's not a mating bond between her and I, but
he doesn't know.
Nope. And Cecil has to leave because he can't be in here with her because he considers her his mate. So that means that Jazz can stay and Lucy can stay, and so can Sugar. Sometimes Sugar wants out, but she'll let me know when I'm taking the birds out whether she wants to stay or not. Right, Bob? Bob, try not to eat the beach blanket. Okay? Get out of there. You're not supposed to eat the chairs. You're not supposed to eat the chairs. No, he's doing really well. He hasn't ever bitten anyone here. He chased a couple of birds in the beginning, but you almost always hear when you bring in a new bird, oh, be careful, they bite. Okay. I don't have any scars from KK, so I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And this one up here, she's just a
most of the
cuddle
cockatoos fell instantly in love with you when they see you. Oh, Pippa.
Well, I've had Amazons and African Greys, and they all seem to be the same way. I mean, they're not the same personalities, but they all seem to just immediately take to me. But I think the funniest one was we had a former director on the board who had a green wing that nobody could. I know I've told the story before, but I'm at the Renaissance Fair, and this person is telling everyone, "Oh, nobody can hold him. He won't let anybody but me hold him." And she's facing away from me, so I just put my hand down and said, come on up." So he came right on up, and while she's talking, I'm back there holding him and talking to him. She turns around and kind of huffs at me, you know, like trying to explain to people why they can't touch that bird. Yeah, I can see you can't touch him, but
That's right.
that was funny. I couldn't help myself, you know. So I know I can pick up this bird, so.
The bird probably knew what she was saying and was like, haha, I'll show you.
I think everyone who mastered Babalu and Marley can pick up basically every bird. We all remember Marley dangling from the aviary ceiling and threatening Don to death.
Oh yeah, Marley.
What was he? A double yellow-crested Amazon. Such a cute fellow.
Yeah, he was double yellow-headed. He was a great bird.
He was.
This is one of the things you find out when you do rescue or sanctuary, though. They were the people who rescue Amazons were supposed to keep in contact with me, and they wouldn't even answer my calls. So I never actually know what happened to him, and he really was a good bird. Of course, the first thing I heard is, "Oh, he won't let you touch him. He bites every man that gets their hands close to him." Yeah, I noticed how he did that. He was lunging when I first got him, and then I just used, two basic principles: come bearing gifts, and then calm attention. And within a week, he was just fine, no problems.
Well, hopefully he's made some nice Amazon buddies and is doing well wherever he is.
Well, yeah, I got good recommendations that where he was going was a good place, but then they wouldn't even call me and tell me how he was doing. That spooked me. But yeah, it's one of the things about rescuing parrots is you don't know what's going to happen once you release one to somebody.
Yeah, I can kind of understand it though, because I guess they don't want people ringing up all the time and trying to get involved, because it's like either you've surrendered it or you haven't. So if you surrender it, then it's like it's not yours anymore.
Yeah, well, it was just sanctuary to sanctuary kind of situation. I just wanted to know that how he was doing. But I know when he left me, he was doing fine. So, and if I could have kept him, I would have. But he didn't really have any problems. Instead. Yeah,
had to bring in the jazz.
He didn't have any permanent problems, like Jazz does. I mean, she's a mutilator. You can't tell it by looking at her, but when you're looking at her up there, Snowball, that's what you do. That little voyeur. Bob, she just wants you to preen her, but she gets that. She opens her beak, it looks like she's trying to go for you. I know. Now, she wasn't easy to get calmed down, and she's probably the toughest, in the short term, the toughest bird I ever dealt with. And she just wanted to kill herself. She was hanging herself off the toys and all kinds of horrible things. once she settled down, she was always nice to me, but you put her in a cage and she was all over the place. Now she's just Jasmine. Aren't you, Jazz? Jazzy. I know. This is the normal time they sleep, though.
Didn't she need the Haldol 3 times a day?
Yeah. I was getting about 4 hours of sleep for the first 2 weeks I had her. I thought I was going to lose her because she was just tearing into herself. And now she's down. She was getting 0.6 milliliter a day. Or for a bird her size, normal dosage would be about 0.15. She's on 0.12 now. And I think I can.
Was that?
I think.
Who was that?
I don't know. I don't know who that was, but
must have been nobody one of the here.
Must have been. I think I'm going to be trying to get her down a little bit more. I have to watch closely because you have to look around her cage to see if any of her coverts come off when you start lowering your dosage. And if I see the cage and it has lots of little coverts around it, then I have to take her back up 0.1, 0.01. But she's doing really well. And then KK's down to 0.05 a day, 0.05 twice a day. So that's a big count for him. And he's good about taking it now. He'll pretty much just hold his head there so I can squirt it in above his tongue. It's just Cecil is still doing this. What are you doing?
Having a good old time.
He usually does a little bit more of a variation on a theme. Will you quit trying to take that out of my pocket, you big toad?
It's on, Eleanor?
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah. Hey, you know.
Okay, so I think my micro is back.
Good.
I don't know. I thought I'm on, but I was talking because there were questions from Spirit Matter, but obviously I think I was muted, or I don't know. He's asking how much sleep do they require, the birds?
No one knows.
Okay.
You'll hear a bunch of talk about how they need 12 hours of sleep, but the ones that come from like the tritons that come from Australia, I mean, they get, their sunlight it's like it is in I'm trying to think. They have varying sunlight there. It's, they have summer and winter. But with the umbrellas and the sarems, there's no summer and winter. There's just this, because they're at the equator, so there's just the same hours all day. We don't know, and we know that they sleep hemispherically. So one side of their brain goes to sleep at a time. So like right now, Pippa's sitting up there, for example. If I can switch this. One half of her brain is probably asleep. And I'm saying that because her foot's up. Okay, usually that's she's yawning. So they get intermittent sleep during the day, and they generally do take a nap sometime between in the midday when the sun's overhead. That's my ear you're grabbing there, big boy. So you'll hear they need 12 hours of sleep, but I don't see where there's any evidence to support that. Do you agree with that, Cecil? So probably getting them up with the sunrise and then putting them down when the sun is setting is the best bet. But although that wouldn't work in Alaska, because there's times, depending on where you are, the sun doesn't always set. So
that's how it is here right now.
Yeah, I would say that the Indonesian parrots might, and cockatoos especially, might be set on a rhythm of 12 and 12, but I don't think so with the tritons. and other parrots that are not equatorial. There's a lot of assumptions about it, though. It's amazing how you see assumptions about sleep. You even hear vets talking about it, but if you ask them, they can't give you well, Dr. Jenkins will say, "All we have is anecdotal stories about birds and not getting enough sleep." So, which means we don't have any evidence.
Well, Lisa thinks Rico doesn't ever sleep. He's being naughty all the time.
Well, at least half the brain sleeps. That they can be what seems to be wide awake with us, and still have half their brain asleep. So they're not the only animal, but they're the most notable that have hemispheric sleep. Hey, that's my ear, you big toad. Well, you are a big toad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just make everybody think you've been playing with your toys. You were just holding my ear. You were. Yeah, there's a lot of. I think the worst anecdotal bit of misinformation out there about birds is the idea that you can't have them on your shoulder because of dominance, when there is no dominance among parrots. But the internet is just filled with that. Here we go. My hearing was kind of gone. He must have tapped my my AirPod, and if the noise gets too loud, we'll start shutting down. But there's a lot of that kind of information out there, misinformation. And the only reason not to have them on your shoulder is if you don't trust them to eat your face. Now, Cecil would never bite me unless there was something like some horrible monster came through the door and he was trying to protect me. He might try to nip me to warn me, that kind of thing. But obviously, I'm not worried about him biting me. Grabbing my ears, playing with my face with his foot, yeah, he'll do that. Another one I just recently saw was researching her sneezing, looking into potential allergic reactions. I know I mentioned this last time, but they were saying that birds don't, as far as we know, birds don't have allergies. And then they're coming around and saying we have no way to test them for allergies. So in other words, it's just a bunch of hot air. They don't know. When I mentioned that to our new vet in Las Vegas, when I mentioned the allergies, he said, we don't have first words out of his mouth before I even went any further were, we have no way to test for allergies in birds. So we can't test, so we don't know. But yet when you go on the internet, even some of the vets will say that they don't have allergic reactions. Well, how do you know that? What are you doing?
Yeah,
they're seeing you, Greg. No, it doesn't. Well, he knew right away. When I mentioned it, he came right out and said that we don't have a way to test them for it. Well, what they do on humans is they poke the skin, and they can't do that with a parrot. You can't poke their skin. So, what are you doing? Our skin has 7 layers. Theirs has 3. So, they're going to see you do this to me at some point. They're going to see you grab my ear. You know that, don't you? You don't care? Hmm?
Well, apparently Captain Hook had a parrot on her shoulder.
Yeah, the old legend about the Pirates at Sea having parrots. There might have been one somewhere, but it's a cute thought, but I don't have any evidence that any parrots ever had, or any pirates ever had parrots. Bob, what are you doing? Bob?
Oh, hello.
Bob?
So you're going to disappear into the chair?
No, what he's trying to do now is there's some roll of paper I have down there to catch any poop, and he was at an animal hospital where they didn't give him any toys, so he learned to play with his poop. And it's almost impossible to break him of that. I give him toys and things that he can use in place of it, but Lucy.
Oh no, she on spin cycle.
Yeah, she is. Lucy,
yeah, I wondered what that sound was.
Scoot. Cecil. Hold on, guys. Bob, you had to find the one spot where you could get on the carpet instead of there's all this stuff down here to catch your poop, and you missed it. Excuse me, guys. I got to get that up. There we go. Lucy. Earth to Lucy.
Oh, Lucy, you're a mess. Poor girl. So Ellie Green says, humans have proteins in blood when allergies are present. I did. I'm allergic to pigeons. That sucks, being allergic to pigeons.
Yeah, we actually have pigeons here in the desert, which is odd, but they have no way to test these guys. Well, there probably is a way to test them, but they haven't, no one's spent the time trying to figure it out. It's almost a headless Babalu. Sugar, what are you doing? Sugar. Uh-oh, you dropped your toy, Cecil. Yeah, there's probably a blood serum test or something they could do. But then again, with these guys, they have so little blood, they try not to take much. That's one of the reasons if you take a smaller bird like a cockatiel in, it's going to cost you, it should cost you more, but it usually costs you about the same as taking in a large bird. It's trying to get blood out of a cockatiel for a CBC or even smaller, something like a budgerigar. That's difficult to do. Fortunately, I have a vet now that will take it from the nail instead of the artery to the brain. That's kind of spooky. Jenkins won't do that anymore. He's concerned that it might cause a collapse of the artery, and eventually the bird will die from it. So he just takes it from the nail.
Bless you.
Well, I put you back out in the other room, little girl, but she'll be bored if I do that. She's in the other cage now. I had this cage is a little bigger than I had for her there, but she doesn't like it. So I put the dome top out there, and she likes that one. So picky little thing, aren't you?
Gotta be in here with you while you're using the iPhone to talk to the people.
Yeah. Pippa and Steve. Jazz, I can see you're thinking over there. I think if Pippa wasn't right there, she'd be coming over, begging me to do her on my shoulder down here. Right, little girl? She's got a little bit of feathering coming off there, but that's just from normal preening. Well, it's been kind of quiet in here today, but probably best because I woke up not feeling quite so good. Being a little unsteady on my feet, which is not usual. So, oh, you can see the dust coming off of her. I don't know if you guys could see that, but
where are you going, Pip? You going on a
there
trip?
must be some humidity in this room. I don't have anything to test it in here, but I noticed the dust was going down, which it won't do if it's too dry. Fluffs into the air. Any last questions? We're about ready to fold this up for the day, and I'm going to try to entertain these guys in my somewhat diminished state. All right, you two. See, be nice to him.
She's like, preen me now. Oh, Lacey. So pushy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now they're awake.
Puppies.
Now when it's our hour's almost over, they're getting all fat. And Snowball's woken up. I mean, they're all like, okay, we're ready to play now.
Oh yeah, the hour's up. Time for Dad to get his full attention back on us.
Yeah, now they're all alert. Isn't that fun?
They know the routine.
Yeah, they're not dumb, that's for sure. Well, thanks, Amy and Eleanor, for moderating, and we get a yawn out of her. She didn't even whine this time. Oh, you're going to in a minute, I can tell. Flipping your tail at me. Well, hope to see you guys next Monday, and Cecil will say goodbye. Cecil, you say goodbye. That's not how you say goodbye. That's how you poop. At least you hit the right spot down there. Well, he's itching to say goodbye, but
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. We will see you next Monday.